Pivoting. Gooner called. The bluegill spawn's on. I gotta go. I knew they'd be on beds. Oh, pants. I forgot pants. This weekend's forecast is all over the place. A tornado threat in the plains, a cold snap in the northeast, and triple-digit heat in California. But through all that chaos, there's a clear bite window forming if you know where to look. Welcome back to Bass Prediction Center, where we're tracking weather, seasonal patterns, and tournament trends to help you catch more and bigger fish. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. It's another week and the summer's expanding rapidly. Wow. Rapidly. Anyway, spawn zones are shrinking quickly, guys, across the north here along the Canadian border, upper Midwest. These fish are going to be done before you know it. Post-spawn has shifted north, of course, up into parts of South Dakota, the whole Northwest. Virginia, you're sitting here, mostly post-spawn, West Virginia. Pennsylvania, mostly post-spawn at this point. Obviously, you're going to, along close to these borders, you're going to have some spawning fish probably still all the way through here, but mostly the situation is post-spawn. And then from the Dixie Alley south in the southwest, California, you're breaking into those early summer patterns. Florida, you've been in this for a couple weeks now. Going to be throwing some of those deep baits and things like that, but we'll look at the baits of the week later in the segment. And then we do have a Bassmaster College event going on here at Chickamauga. There are no other major events going on this week, a little bit boring in tournaments. So we'll focus on these college kids and see if they can get it done over there on Chickamauga.
Have this 8X, but waterproof tackle boxes.
All right, guys, I want to talk about our next goal here at the Bass Prediction Center. We are reaching for 1,000 subscribers. We're currently sitting at 607, and we are doing a massive giveaway this time. There's going to be a bunch of good Beyond Braid products, including some of the best line on the market right now. 50-pound camo braid, probably some shears coming in. I've got a package coming in from Beyond Braid. I also have some boat cleaning products that will be included in this. So the way you want to enter this thing is any one of my videos between now and the time we hit 1,000 subscribers. You got to follow the channel, like a video, and comment on a video, and that'll get you entered to win this prize package. We'll have some baits in there. It's going to be a little bit of everything. So it's going to be a really nice prize package for when we hit 1,000 subscribers, guys. Thanks for watching. It's been an awesome ride so far. Let's keep it going.
The St. Croix Bassmaster.
All right, guys, our tournament spotlight. I did want to look over at the NPFL and shout out to Scott Canterbury, who got it done over there on Douglas Lake with a 3-day total of 50 pounds, 9 ounces. He went wire to wire on this thing, showing that he is the angler of the year that he won back in the Elites a few years ago. So congrats to Scott Canterbury. This NPFL's been pretty cool. It's a great showcase for those guys that don't like forward-facing sonar. So if you hate forward-facing sonar, the NPFL is your spot to watch. Congrats to Scott Canterbury, Kyle Welcher coming in second. Very close race there. What a nice tournament. All right, this week for tournaments, like I said, we don't have too much going on. Bassmaster has this college series over at Chickamauga Lake. It's the final stop for this leg of the tour. So pretty cool little tournament if you want to watch the weigh-in over there at Bassmaster.com. See some of these up-and-coming kids to see how they can do over at Chickamauga. That place is a monster. So definitely one of the places I want to get to someday. Starts here on the 30th, which is Friday, I believe. Yeah, Friday the 30th and Saturday, so should be a really fun tournament. Check it out at Bassmaster.com. All right, guys, jumping right into the weather, we'll look at our severe weather for the next few days. This is today here on Tuesday. We have a slight risk here over in the southeast, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, parts of Florida and Louisiana. And then in southwest Texas and a little hair of New Mexico. In these dark green areas, you can see some severe weather too, but the yellow areas are where we want to focus. Not a huge tornado risk, 2% in those areas where there's green. Wind and hail is your main threat here, especially in southwest Texas. Could see some giant hail. So if you're in those areas, be very safe today, as it could be hairy out there. Tomorrow on Wednesday, just a couple small areas here in the panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, and southwest Texas. Slight risk. Again, not much of a tornado threat, mostly a tornado or a wind and hail threat in those areas again. So if you're fishing, I know there's not a lot of water in that desert area, so if you do happen to be fishing in those areas, make sure you're safe and you have a weather action plan in place. And day 3 on Thursday, as of right now, just kind of a blanket threat from eastern New Mexico all the way to the Atlantic coast here, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. So somewhere to watch if you're planning on fishing on Thursday. Could be some storms in your area. Obviously, these light green areas could also see any kind of weather, but your severe threat is right here in the dark green area. Let's move on to the map. All right, looking at our forecast map for the week. Today here on Tuesday, like I said, storms down here in the southeast, which are already firing up. These storms here in West Texas will fire up a little bit later, closer to 6 or 7 p.m. You're going to see some scattered showers here in Colorado and Wyoming, but nothing severe. Also some scattered rain here in Minnesota and North Dakota. And then as we move through Wednesday, again, severe weather out here in the east, as we noted earlier, and some isolated severe thunderstorms here in Texas. Some rain in Nebraska. We're finally getting some rain. It's not a lot of accumulation, but it's been misty and cold the last few days. These storms around the Panhandle will fire up Wednesday night and move east through the night, but they will weaken as they go. So you got a ridge sitting up here in North Dakota, South Dakota, which will calm things down. And then warm and dry in the west. And then the east, just some scattered rain here on Thursday morning. As we move through Thursday, those storms continue to push east. Thursday evening here, about 6 or 7 o'clock. You're looking at some rain here in the Virginia area, North Carolina, South Carolina. Also back into western Tennessee, and then obviously through Texas. A line of a chance of some thunderstorms here through the mountain regions, but nothing to write home about for sure. The northeast could see some scattered showers. We lost our spot. Anyway, so that's Thursday. Friday, this low pressure system that was sitting here kind of pushes east as this high pressure moves into the southern plains. Brings these storms and showers here to the Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia area, and Midwest, some rain, but nothing severe again. As we move into Friday, and Saturday, we'll get a little bit better look at this on the weekend update on Friday, but as of right now, Saturday looks like a pretty decent day. You might have some storms here in Missouri, a little bit of rain through the Midwest, but other than that, dry everywhere else. And Maine, you're going to be dealing with some rain, Vermont, New Hampshire, but everywhere else looking pretty dry. Pretty good day to fish on Saturday, probably. We'll look at the winds here in a bit and the temperatures to be sure, but Sunday, kind of the same. Some storms here in the mountains, kind of normal for this time of year. It's getting close to June. All the way through the Rockies from Montana down through New Mexico. Pop-up thunder showers and things like that. Possibly some weather here along the Dixie Alley, but we'll know more on Friday when we look at the weekend update. All right, winds for the week. As of right now, looks really nice across the whole country. Nothing too crazy. As we move through Wednesday here, again, you're going to have some winds pick up here along these mountain states and in the Texas Panhandle with those storms that could fire up on Wednesday. And then Thursday, a little bit of winds here in the western Texas, Oklahoma, but nothing too crazy. It looks really nice in most of the country. Some scattered winds up here in Oregon and Washington. Friday, kind of more of the same. Looks really good. Off the coast here, the Carolinas, could be windy, and off the coast of California could be pretty windy if you're planning on going out in the ocean. But everyone else looking really good for winds this week. Finally, it's kind of calming down. Nebraska going to see some winds on Saturday, maybe 10 to 20, a little bit windier. Western New Mexico Boot Hill region could see some winds. Other than that, country looks pretty good again. And we'll look at this here in the weekend update, but gosh, looking pretty good for your weekend. Saturday and Sunday could be pretty nice days to fish. You do have some winds picking up in the Mountain West on Sunday evening, but other than that, it looks really good throughout the country. All right, taking a look at your high temperatures for the week. Today on Tuesday, pretty warm across most of the country. You've got 60s all the way, 70s all the way to the Canadian border. For some reason here in Nebraska, we're sitting with just a little pocket of cooler air, 50 degrees. We've had a lot of cloud cover and mist, and it's cooling things off. Bass are going back to winter hideouts. Just kidding. Anyway, so the whole country's looking good. Really warm in the south, 90 degrees, 100 degrees along the Mexican border. California looking pretty good today on Tuesday. On Wednesday, your highs kind of remain the same. As this low pressure system moves east, this cooler air is going to move with it. Just pockets of 50s, nothing too crazy. It's not uncomfortable by any means, but Map looks basically the same everywhere else. You got 70s and 80s throughout most of the country, up to 90s along the southern border states. Thursday highs, more of the same. It's warming up big time here in the Mountain West. You're getting up into the 80s, maybe approaching 100 degrees in parts of California. The south and southeast, more of the same, 80s and 90s. Friday, warming up big time in California. You're going to be approaching 100 in most of California as we get into the weekend. The south and southwest looking pretty good, and kind of cooling off here in the northeast. But again, nothing crazy. Definitely going to be out there fishing. Might even be more comfortable for you if you do go fishing with these temperatures. And then on Saturday, like I said, triple digits in California are approaching this weekend. So if you want to get out and fish in California, it might be better to do it this week if you can avoid this weekend, because it is going to be hot. Nebraska finally warming back up as we get into the weekend, 70s and 80s. That cool air is kind of sitting over the northeast, but again, it's not too cool. It's not going to slow down your fishing by any means. The smallmouth bite should be awesome right now. There should be some awesome spawning. Get your floggers out. And on Sunday, whole country warming up into the 70s and 80s, except for the northeast where you're still sitting in the 60s, but that's going to be pushing out. Should be really nice for next week for you guys, but California hot. So if you're in California, just make sure you got your sunscreen on, because it's going to be a hot one out there. Our total rainfall map, and don't be surprised if this thing looks very familiar, because Arkansas, Louisiana, eastern Texas, you guys have been just getting absolutely hammered with rain. And you've got more coming this week. You've got, Grand Lake area, even though you just got 7, 8, 9 inches of rain in some areas, you're going to get another 1.5 inches coming, which isn't anything to rate. It's nothing crazy. Northeast Kansas, 3 inches. But the stretch from West Texas all the way to the Atlantic coast here, there's areas that could see up to 4 inches of rain here. Definitely some possible flooding, and especially in some smaller reservoirs here in Alabama. You're looking at maybe 5, 6 inches of rain in some spots. So just be really safe if you're in low-lying areas. Watch out for debris in the waters. Get ready to start flipping some bushes if you aren't already. I know some areas down here could use some rain, so definitely get ready for some shallow fishing down there with the rain that's about to come. Nebraska, again, we need more than 1 inch of rain, but hopefully this is wrong and we get more than that. Fish absolutely love that.
Oh my gosh!
Welcome back to Forecast to Fish. This week's episode is about one of the best bite windows you can fish all summer long, and that's bluegill bed fishing. About a week ago, I was fishing a local lake that's absolutely stuffed full of grass, and as I was idling across the lake through the grass, I was looking for open holes in the grass to fish, and I started seeing those craters all in the grass in the holes, and I knew that the opportunity was right now. Guys, bluegills will make beds a little bit deeper, especially in clear water. And what you can do is find them, mark every single one on your map, and go around either just flipping into that grass with a creature bait on a heavy Texas rig, or you can work baits over the top of them like jerk baits, swim baits, things like that. But these bluegills are going to make beds out there. They're going to be spawning. They're going to be dumb. And the bass are going to sit along the edge and ambush them. Those females that have just gotten done spawning, this is exactly where they're headed to try to get a good meal to fill back up for summer. So, guys, bluegill beds are the ticket right now, the key to your success. So get after them, go find some. Shallow ones can be good too, but the deep ones are where it's at, especially in grass fishing lakes. Guys, that's been Forecast to Fish. Go find a bluegill bed and catch your new personal best. All right, guys, our lake of the week this week is Thompson Lake in Maine. They're close to the New Hampshire border. Maybe that's Vermont. I don't know. It's either Vermont or New Hampshire, and it's close to the border. But I saw a post on a forum about this lake, and it is a glacial shield lake. The glaciers drug through here and created these lakes. So it's a natural reservoir, or natural lake, and it is loaded with giant smallmouth. So right now they should be spawning over there. If you can find any of these flats, there's probably some grass in this thing. You can see there's lots of boats. But find some grass flats, some areas with hard bottom, and find some spawning smallmouth. I know they got 5, 6 pounders in this thing, so looks like a really cool lake. If I ever get to Maine, I'm definitely going to check it out. Throw some tubes, some drop shots. Right now, those spawning smallmouth will eat just about anything. There's the marina right there on the south end, the nice little bridge. But it looks really cool, and if you're not able to catch anything there are ponds and lakes everywhere around this area. The Sebago Lake, one of the biggest lakes in Maine, but really cool area. I didn't realize Maine had this many awesome waters, so love to get over there and check it out one day. Eat some lobster, catch some smallmouth, have a great day on the water. Sorry, window don't roll down. I saw me a bluegill bed one time. Looked like a crop circle. Reminds me of the first time I got abducted. Man, that gives me the heebie-jeebies. Anyway, I didn't see any bass on her. So I went down to the grocery store, picked up some chicken livers, went down to the river, caught old lady up some supper. She ate good that night. Anyway, this has been Gooner, signing out. Alright, I don't know if Gooner's aware that this is a bass channel. It keeps giving us a catfishing forecast. But anyway, here we go with the Beyond Braid Baits of the Week, everybody's favorite segment. Guys, like I said before, we're giving away some Beyond Braid products. So go over to beyondbraid.com. Check out their stuff. If you do want to buy something, you can use code BPC10 at checkout and get 10% off any item over there in their shop. These are the baits of the week. So in our spawn areas, NetBait just released earlier this year this Rascal. It's kind of a flapping beaver-style bait, but it's great on beds. It's kind of compact, and it's loaded with bait fuel. That's one of my favorite things about the new NetBait stuff is it all has bait fuel in it. It's one of the best scents on the market. If you're not throwing max scent, bait fuel is right up there with it. So get you some of these Rascals, flip them around on a Texas rig on beds or maybe on a shaky head and catch some absolute giants on beds right now. Works for smallmouth and largemouth right now this time of the year. Post-spawn areas, this one is a Lake Fork secret. I know a lot of guys throw it, but the Yellow Magic Japanese popper, find it over there on Tackle Warehouse, one of the best poppers ever made. This thing walks the dog like nothing else, gets absolute giants to hammer it. So fish this thing all around your post-spawn areas where you have fry garters, bluegill beds, things like that. This is the bluegill color. And you're going to absolutely hammer some giants. They cannot resist this thing this time of the year, especially if the water is a little bit calmer. You know you love a topwater bite, get yourself a popper. Yellow Magic is one of the best. And just go out there and just hammer some giants. And then our early summer areas, this is kind of a secret a lot of guys forget about. Go into these areas that have grass or just brand new grass. And you can bring that lipless back out. The fish haven't seen it since early spring. I love this black and blue color, especially around the areas that have bluegill. It just triggers bites. This is the 6 Sense Duke. It's a newer lipless from them. It's a little bit more compact for the weight. And just throw it through that grass. Run it right over the tops and rip it through the grass. You're going to absolutely kill things on it. This thing catches giants. It's kind of a hidden secret, but get one today at 6sense.com. You are not going to regret it. That's the baits of the week, guys. Go to beyondbraid.com and check out all their awesome products. Get 10% off with code BPC10 and buy some Beyond Braid stuff. This is one of the weirdest national forecasts we've had all season, but inside the chaos lies opportunity. Find your window, match your bait to the zone, and get after it. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Click that bell icon, and we'll see you guys on Friday for the weekend update.